Hello and welcome back. Today I'll be discussing why I started retro collecting. I have always had my childhood collection and I'm gonna go quickly through which they were. It was the Sega Mega Drive, or known as the Genesis in the States, my Nintendo 64, my Sega Dreamcast, my Nintendo GameCube, my Xbox 360, all my handhelds, which includes the Game Boy Advance SP, Game Boy, and I'm not going to mention the modern consoles. Well, I can. It's like PlayStation 4, Switch, etc. But to start on the story, we will have to go back in 2019. So in 2019, I started collecting, and this was the magical moment. We went through our storage in my house, and we found all my awesome retro consoles, and I put them nicely on the shelf. And the reason why I wasn't playing with them anymore is because I had a flat screen TV, and I thought the new flat screen TVs, they could not display my consoles, because there was an input for them missing. I didn't have AV or SCART, as it's called. Now, we found a device called the NEDIS, which we ordered from the Netherlands. And just for fun, we're like, okay, let's test this out. We put it in, and to my surprise, wait a minute, I can play my retro games again? The first console I tested was the Mega Drive, Sonic 3 and Knuckles. I was playing Tails in Death Egg Zone. My mind was blown away. The next console I tested was the Sega Dreamcast. So I put that on the TV, and I just fell in love. So, I'm like, I have all these amazing retro consoles that still work, the N64, etc, etc, the Nintendo GameCube. However, I wanted to play my games from my childhood. I wanted to play my old NES games. I wanted to buy more consoles. I wanted to have the PlayStation 1. I wanted to live back the memories of my childhood, the nostalgia. Because I know when I moved around in Norway, I lost a lot of my Mega Drive games, which made me really sad. So I wanted to make it my first priority to get those memories back. And to have consoles I used to play as a kid, I could never afford to have more. Like the Super Nintendo is a good example of that. I was actually streaming on Twitch back then. Every Friday we had retro gaming night, and I had a SNES Mini. I was very lucky to get that. That was my ticket to play Super Nintendo games like Super Mario RPG and that kind of stuff. Going back to the Netherlands, I found this amazing huge store called Game Shop van Twente, and I was literally there for 3 hours. In the end, I brought an NES, I brought a PlayStation, I brought a one-chip Super Nintendo and some games, and that's actually where it started. The same holiday, I went to the UK to visit my family, and my uncle said to me, "Hey Theresa, I have some consoles I don't want anymore. Anything you find is yours." I found a Sega Dreamcast, another Mega Drive, and a bunch of PlayStation 2 games. That came with me home. I was ecstatic. So when I came back from my holidays, I was playing on the original hardware on Twitch thanks to NEDIS, and I noticed people are actually coming to my stream to watch me play this. And that's the moment I also rebranded my Twitch channel. I'm like, you know what? I don't want to do marbles on stream anymore. I want to focus more on retro because retro gaming makes me happy. So in summary, the reason why I played retro games is because it makes me happy. It brings back happy memories from when I was a kid, sitting on the floor, or playing with my mom and dad, my sister, Sonic 2, etc. Or it's just nostalgia. And another reason, I feel the retro games were far better made than today's games. But that's the secret between you and me. You don't need to tell anyone about that. I hope this little story about why I started collecting retro games has put a smile on your face. I want to know your story, why you play retro games. I don't care if you use an emulator. I don't mind if you use original hardware or a Raspberry Pi, or if you use special consoles like the EverDrive. Let me know in the comments below. And if you want, I'll leave you a comparison of my retro collection back then versus now. Warning, it has really grown out of control. Make sure you like the video. Until then.